Okay, so we've just moved our table over into Word, and it's looking quite neat now. Now let's say, for example, we wanted to include a diagram, and the diagram that we wanted to include was of the pivot table as well. Now I'm going to put that onto a new page. Now to put it onto a new page, I'm going to hold Control and push Enter. And what that does is it inserts what we call a page break. So it's basically created a new page where I can then pop something onto here. Now I'm going to go back to the pivot table, and I'm not going to copy and paste it in a regular fashion. Okay, so rather than do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot just of this amount, just of this part of the table here. Now to do that, I'm going to use a function which is a relatively new function, but does require that you have OneNote installed. Okay, there's a couple of different ways that we can do it. Okay, so let's have a look at the one where OneNote's installed first. Now, if we hold the Windows key and push N, then what will happen is it will bring up this little message here, which says send to OneNote. Okay, now we don't really want to send it to OneNote. Okay, what we're going to do, but what we will do is we'll take a screen clipping. So you can push S, and then that will come up with this kind of alteration to the page. And what you'll see is I've got this large cursor here, and I also have most of the screen grayed out. So what I can do is if I then click and drag, what it's going to do is it's going to create a copy of just that area that I've clicked and dragged over. Okay. Now that's copied that. Now on my computer I've set it up so that normally if you haven't used it before, it will come up with another message to give you a number of different options, whether you send it to OneNote or whether you would like to copy it to the clipboard. Now what you should click on is to copy it to the clipboard, because basically what that means is that that's the same as effectively as going copy and paste. Okay, so you're making a physical copy, it's stored in the computer's memory, so then you can paste it out as an image in anything that you want. So if I then go back to Word and I go Control V to paste, I've got an image of exactly what I just copied. Okay, now let's say, for example, we wanted to do that in another way. Okay, so if you don't have OneNote installed, there is another way to do it. So if we go and search, okay, so if I bring up the search function again and I type in here snipping tool, okay, that performs a very similar function. Now the snipping tool is a really great tool to use. Okay, so we click on new, and once again it's sort of the area's grayed out. I'll just highlight what I want. And what it does is it brings it up what you've cut into sort of a small little application, very similar to Paint. Now what you can do is you can save that, and you can save that as like a JPEG file or a bitmap or something of that nature if you wish. However, I don't think you need to do that. There's other things that you can do instead. Okay, so if I go back to the snipping tool, it's just taking a while to think because it's trying to work out where some of my network drives are, I believe. I'll just pause this for the moment. Okay, so instead of saving it, a good thing to do is just to simply right click on here and you can go copy. Now you can then copy that, you can close the snippet. Don't worry about saving it if you've copied it. I mean, you can to be safe, but I don't think you really need to if it's copied. We can then just paste that down into the document. You can tell that it's not the same one as I did before because I've added the grand total part at the bottom. So two different ways to do very similar things. So it's up to you as to the way that you'd like to do it, but the snipping tool is a really useful way to record screenshots and things like that and paste them into documents that you can then keep for later use.